When we're trying to be healthy, everything in moderation, right? Here's an analogy. If your basement is flooding, are you going to turn the main water off so you stop the flooding? Or are you going to turn it off most of the way? Which one do you think will be better? In the research, like the Framingham Heart Study, which was a massive study on looking at what led to heart disease, essentially, 35% of the deaths from heart disease were from people who were within the recommendations that were given. Stuff like having your total cholesterol below 200, eating a diet that is about 30% fat, so 30% of your calories coming from fat. We still saw significant amounts of death from heart disease from that. Whereas we saw little to none, little disease and no deaths from people who had total cholesterol under 150. They were eating, they were more lifestyles similar to what we see in the blue zones in rural China, where it's tons and tons of whole vegetables and life-giving plants, and low-fat diets where it's not no fat, we do need some fat, but low fat, like 10%, 6%, in that territory. One researcher, Dr. Esselstyn, who was one of the pioneers of actual heart disease prevention and reversal, he says, unfortunately, when it comes to lowering cholesterol, moderation kills. Similarly, what we see in the healthiest populations in the world, like the blue zones, they do eat meat. Some of the populations, have fish. They have meat from their herd or their friend's herd. But generally, it was up to 5 times per month, and it was about the size of a deck of cards. When's the last size you saw steak in a restaurant the size of a deck of cards? And how much more frequently are we eating meat than once a week? So seeing all this research, and there's more like randomized control trials, there's more like that, showing that we need a higher standard of what to eat. Going back to the original diet, like in Genesis 1:29, where we're given whole plants for food. The biggest thing is that we get a false sense of security where we're doing a little bit of moderation and we don't even know what that means. Like, when's the last time anybody gave you, this many ounces of whatever is moderation? We don't. It's just a kind of vague recommendation. Moderation, whatever that means. So with moderation and this false sense of security, we think we're on the right track. And it is a step in the right direction. Every step towards a healthier lifestyle is beneficial. But don't let that moderation be the end-all, be-all. Continue to progress, continue to improve to the original diet in Genesis 1:29. So ultimately, it's up to you. If your basement's flooding, do you want to shut off the water and stop the progression as much as we can? Given we are in a fallen world, there is sin, stuff declines, disease can happen, but with something in your control, do you want to shut off the main water or just turn it down and let your basement keep flooding? If you find these videos helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and family so we can get fit together. God bless.